grateful to be here at this event today, working with all of the partners that we have in order to tackle those challenges together and make substantial progress. So with that, I'd like to introduce some of those partners and move on to statements from Commissioner June Tierney from the Department of Public Service.
Good morning. It's a real pleasure to be here. This announcement today is one of those good news events that happens in Vermont perhaps more frequently than we take time to acknowledge. The excellent work that Efficiency Vermont is announcing today is a product of a variety of other folks who have excelled in their domains as well, beginning with the legislature and the kinds of goals that they passed for us to aim for, and also the legislation that passed more recently, Act 62, which targets making significant progress in an area that really requires attention. The other success here, though, that bears mentioning is how EVT is really stewarding its resources carefully and to good effect for Vermonters. When I took office, my challenge to the company was to see where they could perhaps realize savings in their day-to-day operations and their programs. And over the course of the last couple of years, the company was able to find several $1 million worth of these kinds of savings, which last year then were available to provide funding for this very initiative today. So I compliment Rebecca on her leadership. Where are you, Rebecca? This is good governance at work. I don't pull these sorts of mandates out of my back pocket, but rather I execute on mandates that I receive as commissioner. And that particular mandate came from our governor, who is very focused on affordability and economic development. And so I took those things to heart and said, where can we find some money in efficiency? And in turn, Efficiency Vermont took the money and said, where can we make good progress on a worthy public policy goal? It's a circle of iterative process and thinking, and the legislature plays a very important role in that. And with us today are two individuals, Senator Bray, who is the chair of our Senate Natural Resources Committee, and of course Senate Pro Tem Leader Tim Ash, who's been very prolific on this issue as well. And I compliment both of them for the sustained focus that they bring to the issue of weatherization, because it's when all corners of Vermont, or better said, when all actors who have a leadership role to play on these issues come together and join hands, that we stand to make the most progress. And I'm terribly proud of that standing here today. One last note I'd like to point out is this. Vermont spends close to $500 million on fossil fuel energy a year. And if you let that number sink in for a moment, it's the kind of gee whiz or holy moly number that gets people thinking, but it needs to translate to something real. And the reality that it needs to translate to is that it's individuals and businesses in the state who spend that money annually. And one of the wonderful things about the incentives being announced today is this is a path toward keeping some of those dollars in state, which is so very important for our economy. But perhaps most importantly of all, whether this translates to a reality depends on individual actions. So we can focus on an aggregate number like $500 million a year spent on fossil fuel, or we can ask individuals instead to think about what it means for individuals whose expenditures contribute to that $500 million to make choices that will help us reduce the use of fossil fuel, that will help us be efficient, and that will help us get greenhouse gases down in the state. And this program is directed at those individuals and individual actions. And that is, above all, its importance for today. So I salute the actors, the leaders who've participated in bringing us here today, and I look forward to hearing about the great progress it's made. Thank you.
So much, June. As June said,